So not long ago, news came down that Texas wide receiver Josh Moore has entered his name into the NCAA transfer portal, and we need to talk about this because after the little scrum that happened between he and Steve Sarkisian reportedly at practice last week, this was a move I think some people could see coming. We need to talk about what it means going forward, but before we do, as always, y'all know the drill. I want to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes, N for no. Are you surprised that Joshua Moore has decided to transfer from the University of Texas? And let me know what you're thinking. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification. I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed this content, be sure to like and comment down below. Those interactions, though they are small, are really massive to content creators such as myself in getting both picked up and maintained by the YouTube algorithm. But with all that being said, let's hop straight into this. And this is a situation where a talented playmaker is entering his name into the transfer portal. Now, Joshua Moore was a wide receiver for the University of Texas that looked to have a larger role this year, but that just never really came to fruition. When Jordan Whittington was healthy, we saw him implemented to the offense, and true freshman Xavier Worthy has been a true difference maker for the Longhorns, coming in and making defenses account for him in the passing game. I mean, Worthy is a young man that, as much as Bijan has been able to affect how defenses are game planning for Texas, so has Worthy. Worthy and Bijan have been an absolute treat to watch for the Texas Longhorns offense. But in a year where you had a disappointing year in the win and loss column, in a year where if you are Joshua Moore, you're thinking you're going to be that guy and you see a true freshman having success that you aren't, it can foster frustrations. And especially when you look at how the season has gone for Joshua Moore. Opportunity has been there, but drop passes have been something that have reared its ugly head multiple times this season for the wide receiver. Now, this is a situation where ultimately, at the end of the day, the Texas Longhorns would have loved to keep this young man on roster because of how talented he is. But this is not something that is overtly surprising. I think when you see a head coach come in his first year, experience growing pains, kind of indicating that a rebuild is on the horizon, one thing that many people anticipated, but the degree of the rebuild is what's a little bit surprising, you can kind of have situations like this where frustration starts amongst the players. Now, the good news is this, and there is a silver lining to all parties involved. For Joshua Moore, you get the opportunity to go out and showcase your ability at an institution that may be better suited for you. For Texas, you're sitting in a situation where not only is it still plenty of time left in this cycle to get in some recruits, but you also have the existence of the transfer portal. And if you are in a rebuild, you're going to want players who want to be there. And look, this is only perfectly natural that some individuals are going to be hesitant to be a part of that. But at the end of the day, the most important thing for the Texas Longhorns right now is getting players that want to come in and better the system and want to be a part of this rebuild. But this right here highlights something I've been talking about for a while, and that is the intrigue around the transfer portal. Because in its current capacity, this is going to give, in theory, Joshua Moore an opportunity to showcase his abilities elsewhere. It's going to give the Texas Longhorns to create an environment with players who want to be there, and the existence of the transfer portal also allows for the Longhorns to go wide receiver shopping in the offseason. Now, this is not a claim that in any sort of adversity, the transfer portal is the way to go. I think that the transfer portal should be your last resort. However, I do think that there are positives to its existence, so long that it's not being used and abused. But I think once that scrap was reported that happened last week between Joshua Moore and Sark, it was kind of just a matter of time before something happened. And I don't think it's at all surprising that he decided to transfer. When you look at having a season that has been disappointing, you've experienced drops, and then you look at a freshman wide receiver such as Xavier Worthy, who has flourished so much, you mix that with the disappointing losses and the manner in which you have lost, tensions can run high, and we're talking about an environment where these kids are all hyper competitive. And so these sorts of emotional situations can show themselves. So this is going to be something we have to follow going forward. Where does Josh Moore go? Do the Texas Longhorns look to add in more wide receiver talent in the recruiting class? Or do they look to the transfer portal to try and get in some more established wide receiver talent? I'm very interested in hearing from y'all on this situation. Hop down to the comments, let me know. If you have an opportunity, stop by the live stream tonight at 5:30 Central Standard Time. We're going to be talking about a lot of things, from this weekend to the college football playoffs to some coaches that are now on the hot seat, and you don't want to miss any of it. That's it. See ya.